name.
All right, got it. All right,
All right.
Kev, my man.
So let's go. Listen, just to keep it consistent with a book, Fat Joe, yesterday's
Mm-hmm.
price is not
Mm-hmm.
today's. What do you feel
Okay.
about that?
Yesterday's price. Okay, so what do you mean by that?
That's not my
Like,
quote. It's Fat Joe's from his book that came out. I think it's called like El Jose or something. But anyway, so
okay.
I might have got that wrong. But
What did he say?
no, the name of his book. It's a picture of
Okay.
him as like a teenager, but it's a good book. And it's
Okay.
the quote is yesterday's price is not today's. So yeah,
Not to, not.
I
Okay.
basically, if you have a
That's
deal,
profound, man.
if you have a
Mm-hmm.
deal on the table and you don't take it tomorrow, that deal
Mm-hmm.
might not be the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is. It's a good ass. I think it's a good quote.
Agreed.
You know, um,
Yeah.
and
Look, you see the screen to quote the great philosopher. Look at
yeah,
that
yeah.
on X.
Hmm.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, but Kev, isn't that the entire theory of the finance world? I mean, that encapsulates,
Sure, yeah,
finance, Wall Street, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yesterday's price, not today's, right?
yeah. It gives
That's
you,
Wall Street. Yeah,
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 yeah.
it's
You take opportunities while they're there.
yeah,
But it's a good one. All right,
yeah. That's Wall
so
Street. That's
that's
Wall Street. Yeah.
anything. No, that's supply and demand. That's anything, right? Um, if you're buying, you got a good deal on something, and you bought anything, right? What did you buy recently? Anything? Let's say you got a new hat.
Nothing significant. No,
Let's say you got a new hat.
but
A good
let's say I
price.
bought some
I
toys
change. All right, some
for the
toys.
kids, right?
Okay, a good hat
Okay.
or a good toy. It's not going to be the
Mm-hmm.
same price if it was a deal. So, all right. So hold on. I want you to say what you said to me about. You were talking about topics. So, what did you say about why some of these topics? You want to talk about like a few, but what was the reason you said?
What's going on? What's currently trending and in demand? In the alternative media space, the podcast
Uh-uh.
space,
Yeah,
pretty much,
no,
right?
yeah, but you said what's currently being talked about, right?
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and yeah, they're current events. Who chooses these things that are talked about? I mean, um, those are the influencers, right? I mean, it depends what you're looking at, but
I mean,
these
I
people know
mean,
what goes
I
viral.
or don't you think it's an algorithm, Kev? Like that's a good question. Who starts it? Yeah,
No.
you're right. I never thought about that.
I think
That's
that
interesting.
it's not. I think that these folks a lot of times are trying to push a certain narrative, or they
Mm-hmm.
know what's going to go viral. They'll put their spin on it, and it goes. These people are industry plants. That's
Mm-hmm.
think about
Yep.
TikTok. Think about TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Guide to Debt. We talked about it on the last one,
Yep.
which that pod's not up because YouTube sensitive for like some nonsense. We mentioned a candidate that's going to be with the president, but yeah. So industry plants. Some of these people are. So what
Mm-hmm.
separates you, what separates me and other people is the filter. Take what's good
Right.
and regurgitate, or just get rid of the rest. Okay. Now, there's a website, and I don't want to go
Mm-hmm.
too far off the topic, but there's a website that just came out where you could look at an
Mm-hmm.
article and
Mm-hmm.
you
News.
you could actually see who covers it,
Ground
right?
news.
Okay, that's the name
Yeah.
of it. So it
Ground
sees who covers it.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ground news.
that's
Yeah.
actually a good
Yep.
tool. But
Very good. It's been,
I'm
and
just
guess what, Kev? Real quick, that's what I gathered from everybody. It's interesting you say that because every podcaster is promoting it. Just so you know, right now, that's how I got it. It's crazy.
yeah,
Everybody.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's,
I
it's
mean,
you know,
so
everybody.
so
I didn't know it existed until you told. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it. I mean,
But I'm just
everybody said it.
interested. I'm just interested in let's say you see a few topics. What's catching your eyes because it's
Mm-hmm.
trending? What are you susceptible to some of that influence? Maybe did you see something in the day that had to do with polling or whatever topic you want to discuss that led you to it? That's all I'm asking. Real talk.
What I so 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 okay, what led me to, okay, real talk and emotional investment. Politics. I was emotionally invested in this outcome. Remember I was like, yo man, one party has to lose. Right? I was like, yo man, uh, I was all
So
over the place. Remember I told you months ago I was like, yo,
Okay.
I'm going to feel depressed. That's it.
So
Emotional.
interest. Your
Emotional.
interest. Your interest. Okay.
Emotional. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. All right.
Yeah. And then this was a massive event, Elections only happen 4 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's massive,
All right.
So
So let's get to those at the end. I just want to talk about, or after. I just want to talk about few what we touched on last cast, just in case it doesn't get back up. Chill over
got
there,
it.
bro.
All right.
You,
What?
so
What happened?
we discussed military. I think that echo thing's on again, bro. I don't know, anyway, I'll just go.
No,
So
it's not.
we've been discussing military leaders, presidents. You brought up Napoleon last time. People of interest from big business to small, whatever, and some of the Machiavellian tactics that are used, right? And you put three people in any environment, and you're going to get these type of games, right? These type of sort of
Mm-hmm.
psychological mind games. Some people will try to insert themselves in these places where they're not wanted. They should just mind their own business. But anytime you get three people in an environment, you're gonna get some of that nonsense, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then we talked about the some of the Cold War, how it was influential, how we took some of these psychological games that were being played, and we evaluated them and tried to figure out how they were effective and how the Chinese, the Koreans, and the Soviets were using these. And it influenced pop culture. Hey, did you ever see the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington?
Oh
Did you
yeah.
see that movie? Okay, so
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that came later, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
influenced pop culture. That's it. You have Denzel Washington playing somebody that's basically being controlled to be the president they want him to be. Right? Mind control.
In
Pull up that.
2004. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is
2004.
it, right?
So yeah.
Manchurian Candidate. Yeah.
So these
Mm-hmm.
things, eventually influence pop culture. Where you have Denzel Washington playing, that was a big movie. Um, and also, um, we talked about
And that
programming.
movie was
We
real
talked.
quick, Kev, that
Go
movie
ahead.
was a remake. That movie
1962.
by
Okay,
Denzel, yeah, 1962, which is crazy, like you said, which is nuts.
that's even crazier because it influenced pop culture within the 50s is when the Cold War was going on. So right after you got movies being made about it. People were sort of curious. What was this? Where you have soldiers coming back a little bit disillusioned and controlled in a sense, and you have that coming out in the 60s. That's even better. But
Wow,
pro-
Frank Sinatra was the main actor. Amazing.
really,
Of the
Frank,
1962 movie. Holy shit, Kev! I
yeah,
didn't I
that's
didn't know
cool.
about his. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know he was in movie. I knew he was big, but man,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you were saying.
One of the most famous mug shots is of Frank Sinatra. There's T-shirts about it. Pull that up. Pull up Frank Sinatra's mugshot. It's
Okay.
him as like a handsome dude in his 20s. That's up there with probably Trump's.
Yes, I was gonna say that. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
right here, Kev.
that
Oh,
right
Kev,
there.
look at
That's
that man. He's a
famous.
handsome bastard.
Handsome
Look at this,
bastard. That's a famous
Kev. He's a
picture.
handsome bastard, bro. Right,
Yeah,
Kev?
yeah. Like it.
Whoa.
Listen, that's a great picture to
Wow,
hang,
you can tell.
hang in a lounge or something, right? But
Yeah,
um, so,
Bergen
so
County,
Bergen County's New
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah,
New Jersey.
yeah.
Yep.
It's probably
Yeah.
20s there. Um,
Amazing. 1938, Kev. Right at the beginning of World War II for America.
yeah, yeah.
You got
Crazy.
this. Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we talked about programming, which we just touched on, how through repetition and anchoring, positive and negative, people achieve this. And just in case we don't get back to the episode, I just want to bring a few of these things up. So anchoring is you see a visual, right? Let's say it's I don't know, whether it's a color, a visual, something, and you apply a feeling to that, right? Next
Mm-hmm.
time you see that, it's going to register very quickly. And through repetition, that is a form of programming, whether it happens on social media or wherever. You know, these type of things are influence, manipulation. And I think they could get somebody to also think differently. It's the last point I'll say, and then you could take over. But neuro-linguistic programming is what we talked about, the subconscious, how information gets in there quickly. And basically, it's how we make decisions, right? Process that information. And they could, they could be changed to achieve specific goals in life or whatever, right? Um, so the question is this: how does somebody with the same background, let's say same education, how does one person go on
Mm-hmm.
to be a top lawyer at a massive firm
Mm-hmm.
making $1 million a year,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody with a
Mm-hmm.
similar sort of education, everything goes on to be janitor or whatever, just a regular
Mm-hmm.
blue collar guy, you know, making 50 grand a year, right? How does that happen?
Okay.
And this says through experiences, they help shape us, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what that is. It's programming, and they're looking at it a different way. Now, there's probably no way to prove it because how could you evaluate somebody's influence, right? But
I know, but Kev, this is a field of study that's actively studied, though. I mean, you
yeah,
can't prove there's no like tangible,
yeah,
stuff, but this is a field of study. There's people PhD. You can only get into this field with like a PhD. A
yeah,
doctorate. You know what I mean? Like to study this field.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it is.
And, and,
I get what you're saying. You
and
can't prove,
here,
but it is.
here's why it's
You know.
important. No, for sure. And I'm glad you said it. But here's why this is important, right? How we make decisions influences a lot of things. It influences business, it influences politics, you name it, right? What we do in our daily life,
War.
everything. War,
Yeah, it
exactly.
influences war, right? Yeah, like
Correct.
yeah, man.
Correct. So understanding that and the decision making, goes a long way. Here's another thing. So this applies to also how we think about things. If you applied that type of programming, right? Um, how we look at the same picture. How does somebody, and this happened once, how does somebody see a picture with a caption? Okay, let's say, for instance, it's me at a restaurant, right? Let's say my friend took me
Yes.
to a restaurant called Nobu. Okay, you would see that and you would say, "Oh, Kevin went to a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Maybe he didn't pick it. Someone else might see this, and they mentioned it indirectly, and they looked at it as Kevin went to a restaurant, but they also interpreted Nobu as no boo, like he's. So how does that happen? How does that happen? That's programming because you don't see that. I don't think that, but that's through like repetition, I believe. So these things
And
are
and
important.
also, I mean, and
Also
also
what?
superstition, right? If you believe in superstition, you will see Nobu and conclude something else.
Yeah, yeah,
I
but
mean, right? I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
if
Yes, but if that
right,
could
if
be
you're religious,
somehow maybe it's religion, but I think it's also manipulation. If somebody could get somebody to look at things a little bit deeper, where they're looking at a word and they're breaking it down, that's through, I think, that doesn't happen. That you're getting through the subconscious, I believe. That should not happen on the norm, right? Especially, I'm
Yeah.
not passive aggressive, so why would I? You know, it's just so these type of things, how certain things are perceived and how decisions are made, I think are important to understand because they shape culture and day to day life, right? And
Yep.
like you said, war. So we learn these type of things are used at the mass level, and you have companies using them like BlackRock at a
Mm,
lower level. Really, you have companies
I
that
know.
are taking how the countries are run and applying it to business, and it's effective, and probably smart for business. Um, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But they're now hiring people. I've seen this BlackRock. Look at a new hire. They hired
Okay.
a new CEO, and not to get off topic too
Okay.
much, but they had a new
Black.
CEO that
Okay.
this
Hires
guy,
new CEO. Really?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. You were
Recently,
saying, Kev?
so the person's background. Look at him. His
Yep.
background is not in banking. It's not a banker. This is somebody in government that worked at these positions and then flipped to a banker. So they're doing it backwards because he understands the system. He might have certain relationships. Um, so it's just interesting how these type of things are now applying at the smaller level, right?
Yep.
And these organizations like that are capitalizing on it. Okay, so that's basically what we touched on the last episode, and
Kev,
you know,
Kev, do you see the
go
screen?
ahead.
Look,
Okay,
they got a neuro-linguistic programming for dummies.
there you
That's how
go.
you know. That's how you know this is a real field of study. I'm saying, I mean, like, right? I mean, that's how you know. Look at this. Look what it says. Learn to set achievable goals, build rapport, right? Rapport and communicate effectively. Look at this, Kev.
Listen, I
Wow.
think all of these things
Wow.
are good to know, to be aware.
I mean,
Like
it
we say, be aware of certain things and tactics, manipulations, or how you how you think could be maybe altered or perceived. So this is psychology, yeah.
I know, but
But
having a
it's
dummies book, it's amazing. I
it,
mean, it's just
yeah, yeah,
tells you
and
everything you
that's
need to know.
listen. That's why I asked you when you picked those topics. You wanted to talk about a few topics. I said, how did you get those? Meaning, was it? And you said it was because of interest, which is a good answer.
Yeah.
It's a good answer. But people also get influenced into clicking on certain things and choosing certain things. So that's also why I asked. But one last thing, fear. We talked about how humans are controlled by fear, and that we have,
Hmm.
Google this, a negativity
Okay.
bias. A
Oh,
negativity
nice.
bias.
Nice.
It's
We should
it's a
discuss that. Yeah, yeah.
it's a tendency to not only to register negative stimuli more readily, but also to dwell on these events. So we dwell on negative things longer, and it affects us more than positive ones.
Yeah,
Like
and
experiences.
That's like a universal fact. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't understand why. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Can you explain? I mean, like, it's just right. Is it like
I
that's?
I
I
think
mean,
I think because we react more strongly to it. When our emotions are moved, right, it's going to affect
okay,
us
okay,
more. So you might
okay.
be more easily scared than
Uh huh.
the opposite,
Oh,
right? So you
oh,
might.
I see. Okay,
So when
nice.
you react
Okay, I
more
get that.
strongly, the stimulus, right? The stimuli. So when you react more strongly to it, you're going to be more effective. And we think about these things more frequently then. So um, that's how people get like PTSD, right? And because these things stay. Whereas a positive thing might just go over your head. Think about this: when you go through a day, you know, you had a long day. Let's say you were traveling out. you're thinking about one comment someone made to you that might have pissed you off, right? Or just one thing
Hmm.
that didn't go how you wanted it to go. You're not thinking about all the good things. And that's just, I
No,
think, that's just that's just how that's normal. That's how we work. But yeah,
here's
and
one. Here's one.
we make them more important than they really are. Really, we
So
over
so
exaggerate them.
so so Kev. So Kev, you're correct. Look what one possible theory for why it's like that. Look, because negative information causes a surge in activity in a critical information processing area of the brain. Our
Okay.
behaviors tend to be shaped more powerfully by bad news experience. This is pretty much what you said, Kev. We're
Yeah.
hardwired for negativity.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah. It
it's
moves us more, and because of that, it stays with us.
wow.
So fear is a controller. It's a manipulator. So what do you do about
Hmm.
it, right? We want to talk about the how to combat these things. So I think important. I once read a book that talked about this exact thing, right? How to overcome fear.
Hmm.
And the main thing was change your perspective. So let's say whatever you're afraid of. Let's say you're afraid of sharks, right? Change your perspective on that a little bit, and go in the water,
What
or
about heights?
if it's heights,
Heights.
look, yeah. So you gotta, I guess, change your mind to think that you're not really afraid of heights. Look up. I don't know, but I think it's also a lot of times it might be certain things happening, right? This happening, that happening, and when you sort of shrink yourself a little bit and think about the things that you can control versus the ones you can't, that's powerful. But changing that perspective, because it's like you said, it's usually us that maybe exaggerate things. So yeah,
Do you think it could be
fear is how
programmed?
people control. Could fear be
I
programmed?
mean,
For
do you
sure.
think?
Yeah.
For,
Think about what we
okay, got
said.
it. Yeah.
Think about what we said with the anchors. There's positive anchors and there's bad anchors, and these are
So
these are
it's not
tactics.
just natural. It's not just like a natural thing. It's programmed pretty much, right?
I think it's a natural thing, but it could be tapped into and manipulated for sure, and used because it's a strong emotion. Anything that sways you could be used
Mhm.
against you. But a lot of times, like I said, it's our own selves that are that have you know changing that perspective, knowing that we're susceptible to certain things. That I think that's the defense. Think about this when with think about something like blackmail, right? Someone's being
Mhm.
blackmailed. What is that?
Yep.
It's somebody throwing fear at you, right? They're using
Hundred
fear.
percent.
That's all it is.
It is fear. Yeah.
It's fear. So they're trying to hang something over your head that they feel they have on you, whether it's in a negotiation or whatever, day to day life. So what do you do, right? I guess you could change your perspective and not care. Um, but you know what the worst thing is? Isolation. Never
What?
isolate. Meaning, don't, all these things are mind fucks. Don't let your own brain be controlled or whatever. You got to think for yourself. If you don't think for yourself, you're screwed, right? So
Well then.
always talk. Always. If you're at a poker table and somebody's calling a full house, right? And you have a deck of
Mhm.
cards, there's no rules in life. So the guy next to you might have a card you need. You might do a trade with him. So my point is don't, people just always isolate, think the worst when with any type of fear. Change your perspective and think, think broader. And
Is
yeah,
it true, Kev? Is it true? Is it true, Kev? That do you? I think this is proper, right? If you're if you're a parent, right, and you raise your child to pretty much you know program the negativity bias out of him from a young age, right? Don't fear things. Don't, you know what I mean? Like don't discipline him. Don't put him in a state of being scared. Don't you think that's going to grow and manifest itself better, right? Than
in a
like
good way.
always like putting you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. I mean, you're giving him tools. Is he absorbing them? Right? You're giving him tools. Is he listening and absorbing them? I think experience also is probably a good teacher, right? But still got to go through it. But yeah, for
Really,
sure, for
really,
sure.
really,
You're
really.
giving
So it's not. It's all right.
no, you're giving him the tools that he needs. My point is does he use
Yeah,
those? Right? You have a tool belt.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
tools on him. Do you go to those tools at the right time? You know.
yeah.
Um,
They're
I
only
just
going to experience it when they get older, right, Kev? You can't like there's no way for
I
children to
no, hold on. I
at
think
like a
that
young age.
listen, I think that the you by you trying to tell your child, right? I don't have
No,
kids.
just in
You
general.
have two. So by you trying to tell your child, hey, don't fear this, I think you're projecting, meaning you're the one
Right.
fearing it. Then,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you got to tell your
Definitely. Yeah.
child that,
I agree. I
But
agree. I agree. So then, what is the right way though? Like, bro, Kev, negativity bias, bro. It's dangerous, man. Like,
the
you know what I
right
mean?
way.
This will shape your whole character. You know
Listen,
that when you get older, and you know how hard it is when you're older to change. It's like you know what I mean. Like when you have responsibilities, this, that, job, career. Just I've seen so many people get. We have a friend. You can't tell us that our mutual friend doesn't possess this.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah. I mean,
Like
yeah. So the right
it's
solution is awareness, knowing you have certain insecurities, vulnerabilities, knowing you have these weaknesses, and knowing that they could be, manipulated, used against you, and I think that's the solution. But there is no freaking exact thing, you know. There's no secret
yeah.
sauce, but but knowing that that's a big drop. That's a big way humans are controlled. When you look at somebody, right, and you ask them their
Mm-hmm.
goals, who's making those decisions for them, right? That's who's controlling them. Meaning, let's say your goal is I want to go to the NBA. Is that your goal, or did your father want you to play in the NBA, or did somebody else, want you to do that? So a lot of times, who's setting some of those goals is that person calling, is controlling things. But fear is a main driver for that controls humans. It's known. So you know, I think the solution is try not to live in fear, right?
So Kev, you can say that fear is a currency, right? It's a currency, right? More people you could have under, being afraid, the more you can manipulate, the course of events. Fear
Yeah,
is a currency.
correct. So here's a
Uh-huh.
takeaway: stop doing things out of fear, and
Mm.
an L is a lesson. People are afraid to lose sometimes too, right? But perspective, it comes back to perspective, and I think when you act in the right way, let's say you act in love, you're acting in you have support behind you, and you're not just yourself. When you act in fear, it's just you and your money, or you and whatever that fear is, right? and
Okay.
and you're being controlled by those thoughts. So that's all. um so
I mean, Kev, look, I have never seen an example of like, positivity, in human nature. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I've
think
never
about
seen
this.
it,
So
Mm.
humans, cut you up, humans are the real iPhones, right? They're the ones
Yep.
that are calling the shots, or you know redirecting things. And yeah, so you ever see, like, if you see someone singing over and over, like saying the same thing, or you see the same dress, same color, same shapes, these are forms of programming. You see them all over the place. I mean, but the World Wide Web is now the center for all that. You got TikTok influencing someone younger to buy $100, shorts, or that's the machine, right? You're going to grow out of
Yeah.
those, but because of, you see it on TikTok, you see it on YouTube, it becomes the norm.
Yeah. No, Kev, you're right. I mean, if I was if I was a multi-billionaire, right, and I wanted to move, shape opinions, I would
There you go.
generate fear.
There you go.
You know, you're right.
Listen,
I would generate
that
fear. There's
happens.
no
That
reason to be,
happens. That
you know.
happens. That's why. That's why I asked you, where'd you get those three things? Because somebody did, and you chose the right answer. Interest. That's the right answer. Not because somebody said it, or influence, but you're right. If you are thinking wider, how to, it happens at every level, right? If you're thinking wider of how to, I wouldn't say shape, but formulate your own or whatever, I think that is, that's the way to think for yourself, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah.
But it
Look, man, you're
happens at
right, man.
every
If
level. It happens at every level.
At every time in human history, Kev, if you think
Yes.
about it, when was it where positivity was used to
Hold on.
move the
It,
society forward?
so
Never. I when I
no. I would say it's not, fear's a big one, but it's not just fear that's used. It's changing emotion. So it could be some positive, but then it's fear. And some fear is probably the strongest, you know?
Yep,
That, but
the
yeah,
strongest.
so yeah,
Uh, people will do things and put themselves in harm's way over fear, just like that. You know, they will not. The more I think about it, it makes sense that you
let
manufacture fear and you sell it. You
listen.
sell it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Stephen Hawking said, I've seen this recently, 1% of the population could be destroyed by an annihilation at any moment. 1%. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. There's a 1% chance at any moment that the population could be annihilated, wiped out by, a natural event, or, just anything. So when you think about things that way, when you think wider, like shit, something could happen anyway, right? Then I think you're changing your perspective, right? You're
Yeah,
broadening
but
your
yeah,
life.
yeah, but the key is to keep that always in the back of your mind, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you have to write it down and keep on looking at it. I don't see any other way, right? Like,
Correct.
like you gotta, like, it has to be like, like it has to be like you're looking at your watch, right? You
Yeah,
gotta look, you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? And you realize that, right? I mean, other
yeah.
than that, I mean, I experience it. Kev, I don't think like that.
Listen, listen.
It's crazy. I don't.
No. Well, you're right. You should write it down, and that's why, you know, if I'll write something in my notes, right, on my phone or whatever, you know, and yeah, you're writing down things so you could remember them, you know.
Exactly what you said, right? At 1%, anybody can be wiped out, right? If you just look at that, right? If you just think about it, in whatever situation you're in of stress, you will, you'll change your perspective a little, right?
Yeah,
At that
yeah,
moment, right? Like if you're getting angered, you're getting like riled up, right? Imagine getting riled up and yeah, that's very somber, very
yeah,
sober to do that, But you got to remember it, Kev. You know what I mean? It's like it's crazy, and
yeah. It's being in tune with yourself, right? And
yeah,
I'll say this. I said I'll write down stuff in my notes, right? If anyone, let's say I left my phone out and somebody like seen my notes, they can understand how I think, right?
right, absolutely.
Um, yeah,
They'll
yeah.
know your
So
triggers. Yeah, Kev. If they find
yeah,
if they find your notebook, they can shape out an entire
listen.
scenario.
Well, that's why
Yeah,
you gotta always adapt. But most people, the way they tap into that, right, is
yeah,
empathy. That's how they tap into. All right, Rich is, he's got a fear. He's got a fear of this, so empathy is a way that they are getting into your thinking like that, right? At the
Mm-hmm.
granular level. You know, psychologists do it, right? They ask you questions. It's empathy. But as long as it's genuine, that's good. It's not genuine, that's manipulation, right? If you really
Yeah,
care how
Kev,
somebody's doing, that's a good thing. If you're just asking to
Look
see.
at this. No, Kev, look at this. They already figured this out. Look at this, Kev. The three most powerful emotions in marketing. One is fear. Look at that.
Yep.
They're banking on it. They're banking on it, Kev. Amazing. And Kev, like you said, empathy is number two, and number one is interest, curiosity. So you
Mm-hmm.
got curiosity, empathy,
Listen, let
and
me say
fear.
this. This
Mm.
applies not just to humans. This applies to all species, right?
You think so?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
species?
I was watching a thing yesterday on Netflix. It was like a documentary, and it was about the ocean, and it was talking about sharks, like these
Mm-hmm.
little sharks, these little striped sharks that go around, and some of the animals, right, are they'll
Mm-hmm.
hide, and they're scared, so they'll hide in their little den, or and and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They don't trust that
Yeah,
little
but
thing swimming around, so they're hiding. Over time, if it doesn't bother them, they're not. So same thing.
I see. I
You
see.
know.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get. I mean, but I mean, look, when you have marketing, when you put three most powerful emotions in marketing, I mean, Kev, that this makes sense
Yeah.
of the current state of social media today. Now I
Yeah.
get it. Why? Now I get it. Now I understand why everything's negative. Look at this.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I get it.
Check
It's
this out.
wow. That's
So
wow.
we were talking about, and we'll switch topics, but we were talking about manipulation and how it drives fear, and it could also drive curiosity. You just said it, right? Empathy. So check this
Yep,
out.
I'm fear.
It's called the
Yeah.
Da Vinci Code, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
DAVINCHI code. There's a movie after it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tom, I watched the movie. I didn't understand it
So it's
back then.
basically separating fact from fiction, okay? And
Okay.
it puts the person basically in a schizophrenic view where they're like
Okay.
constantly trying to think. And that is manipulation. When you
Yeah.
see military, we're talking about military strategy, think about like smaller private intelligence or private eyes. If they're trying to, it's the same type of things that apply fiction and fact. And they're trying to really grasp someone's attention or move them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Da Vinci Code is basically, I think the meaning is separating fact from fiction. That's what the movie was about, and you're going back and forth, and you're starting to question yourself, right? And your moods are affected, so it puts you in like I said, schizophrenic type of you know thoughts or mode. But yeah, all these things get tapped into for sure, and I think other than that,
Other than that, real quick, Kev. So since we're on the topic of fear, right? I got a question that's popped into my head as a discussion
yeah,
about AI, right? It's getting more and more sentient, right?
yeah.
Which means being aware of your existence. That's what
I like
sentience
it.
means,
I like that word.
right?
That's a
Right,
bar.
right, yeah, but so check this out, Kev. What do you think? So we know that empathy, fear, and curiosity are the main emotions in a human being. Human beings are sentient, right? We're aware that we exist. That's all it means, all right? Do you think AI can get to our level if it doesn't have fear, empathy
No,
to it? No, right?
no. And I said that before. You
Right.
took the AI side, I took the other side. Certain things it's not going to be able to do. For instance,
Exactly.
comedy. Comedy.
Hmm.
How could AI tell a joke? They don't have
That's what I'm
the
saying.
they don't have the emotion in it. It's not going to be funny. It could be the best written joke ever, but So certain things that it won't be able to do, which applies to emotion. That's the thing it's missing. You cannot tap that in.
No, you can't program it. You're saying
No,
with
no,
neuro-linguistic program, you can't find a way to you know what I mean, to trigger an AI to like be triggered to
no.
react.
It's not a human. It doesn't
No,
have a
right? You
it
can't.
doesn't have a subconscious. So
Right.
and like you said, neuro-linguistic programming is a lot like a computer, meaning they're wiping a hard drive and programming it, but a human has emotion and a computer doesn't, right? So
Yeah. So what does that
listen to
mean? So I
this.
mean,
There'll be
mm,
20 years from now. There's going to be more humanoids than humans.
right. Yeah, I know. I
You know,
heard. Yeah, makes
so
sense. Yeah.
so are they going to be able to get it where it could be your housekeeper? Yo, check this out. I seen something where it said it was about AI girlfriends. Pull it up. It was
Okay.
one in five. It was like 1 in 5 people like think an AI girlfriend's attractive. It's a robot.
Yeah, this is what Yeah, this is what I'm saying, Kev. I mean, like, it's the next big addiction. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, how is this? I
I
mean,
seen
is
it on. I seen it on. I don't want to get out of this because I might lose you. Let me see. If I lose you, I
no,
lose
don't
you.
get out of it. No, don't get out of it. You'll lose it. Because last time we tried it. Just tell me where to go. Say, you know what I mean? I don't want you, getting onto another, logging back in. Tell me where to go, and
Yeah,
I'll.
yeah. It was on. I think it was like on Instagram or whatever. It said 1 in 5 people would. I
Look right here,
yeah.
Kev. Right here, right. 1 in 5 Americans have flirted with AI chatbot. Is
I
that
don't
it?
know
Is
if
that?
that's it. No. I don't think that's
No.
it. But basically, it had a picture of the robot. I think maybe it was 1 in 5 people would entertain an AI girlfriend, something like that. And it was a picture of the girlfriend. She's a robot, but she looked like a real person.
Because of artificial intelligence, people are going.
Is this one?
I don't think it's a Florida one, but anyway, think about
Mm.
that. Think about that. You know,
Yeah. So how would that work, Kev? That's what I'm saying. If that means they're programming into the AI empathy,
no, they're
and
not. It doesn't. It's
they're
not
not
going to
right. They
have.
can't.
It's not. It's
That's what
not
I'm.
going to
That's what I
have.
figured. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I figured.
So it's not going to have that human connection. But
You can mimic it.
we're still far away. I don't even think you can mimic it. It's
No.
for instance, when you're talking to Amazon, when you're
Mm-hmm.
talking to Google, when you're talking to these new nuanced communications type of things like what is it called, voice recognition, right? I was
Yeah.
thinking of a company that does it in the medical space. But anyway, so yeah, you're just getting back basically it's just robot.
Yeah.
It doesn't understand how you feel or anything like that. So
But so you can't program into it. Is my point. Like, what if they
no,
find a way to program into empathy and fear? Then you know what I mean. Then it's like,
no, you
I
can't do it.
that's what I figured. Yeah. That's
And
what I
if you
figured.
and if you could, we have a situation like Terminator.
Exactly.
I think could turn on you.
Yeah.
so no, yeah.
This is what.
I think we're gonna move very slow with all that stuff because people are scared from movies. They're scared of things going too fast. The attack of whatever, revenge and whatever. So we're gonna move very slow, and it's gonna do stuff tedious stuff that you wouldn't want to do, like a maid, picking up stuff in the backyard, like
Security. Security.
factory, yeah, just basic stuff. I don't
What
know
about
about
security?
security. Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. So the White House had a robot dog walking around. Pull that shit up. It's pretty cool. This is something
No,
like
Trump had it.
yeah,
No,
Trump
Trump
had
had it. Mar-a-Lago
it.
had it.
Oh,
Mar-a-Lago had it.
Mar-a-Lago. I thought it was at the White House.
Yeah, Mar-a-Lago had it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hold on.
Look, see, look at this, Kevin. Ooh, look at this.
Yeah,
Dog
that's
on patrol.
cool. Yo, that is awesome. Listen,
Oh man, look
I
at this,
would get
Kev.
I would get that
Absolutely.
for
Look at
five
this.
grand.
How much is it?
I
You
would
think it's
guess.
5 grand?
Would guess it's probably more, but I'm saying if they brought it down in price, I would guess it's 10 grand.
Let's see, how much does it cost? 75 grand, Kev.
What the hell?
Yeah, the Boston Dynamic robot dog.
That's
Yep.
the one he had?
77.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
look right here.
Go back. It was a
Mhm.
cheaper one, I
Yeah.
think. 27, huh?
Yeah, that's Chinese.
China.
That's the Chinese version. Yeah,
Yeah, you
but
don't
this is
want
the one he had.
that thing will attack you.
Look, Kev, look at this.
You
This is
know?
the one he had. 75 grand. Look at that.
Yeah. So
One can cost up to
they gotta bring it down the
150.
price, but that shit's cool.
That's what I'm saying. As security, Kev. Like, I mean,
That's
like, think about it. You don't have to
listen,
feed it
hold on.
or nothing.
That's better because
I
it
know.
probably has a camera. So you could guard your property on the outside, protect it. It probably, has a scare tactic where it could bark,
They can contact the
get people.
authorities right away.
Yeah, so that is effective, and I'm surprised Tesla's not doing that, and they probably
Boston
will.
Dynamics. Boston Dynamics, I believe, has like a patent or something.
Boston Dynamics is a medical device company, and it's interesting that they've gotten big into the robotics, but they're going
Right
into
here.
now this.
Yeah, look at that. Right here. Look at this.
Yeah.
The agile mobile. Look at this. Sensing inspection. Look at that.
It's cool.
Yeah, like you said, 5 grand is worth it. 75 grand, man. Damn.
Yeah, it's they got to bring it down. I mean, it's probably super new. That's why. But eventually, the more they produce, the cheaper it gets, and it's cool.
I mean, you could have this running all night long. I mean, literally, like, you don't have to. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's as good as a guard dog you could have.
Yeah, the best. Yeah,
like you can't throw that guy a little bone with or a little steak to make him go away. That thing's not going for that.
You can't poison it, right? You can't
You
poison
can't do anything.
right? You can't do anything.
It's a robot. So it's it's first of all, I don't think anyone would poison someone's dog because they're gonna. But meaning they can give it a steak and it'll slobber and they'll go do whatever. So you can't do that with that.
But damn, 75 grand. I mean, how long do you think, Kev? You're saying 5 grand? I mean, it'll take some time to go down there, right? 5 grand. I mean, I don't think it's going to go down like that. I think it'll stay at like 75, 50 grand for at least I don't think it'll be cheaper than that. What do you think? I don't think it'll be.
I think eventually it's got to get lower if you want people to buy it. Individuals, you got to bring it down below 20. But they're not the company to do it. They're not the company to do it,
right?
It's going to be a different one,
right.
So, what else we got?
Look, it's with the Secret Service. The Secret Service. They bought in, and it's a remote controlled robot, Kev, and it's controlled by, it's under dominion of Secret Service. Amazing. Amazing that they got into it.
Yo,
amazing. All right.
Check this out. The Babylon Bee. Which you ever see a Babylon Bee?
Yeah. Of course.
They got some funny stuff, right?
The most hilarious things you'll ever see, and it comes true. It ends up coming true. Listen, it comes true.
Ex-girlfriend urges Americans to trust her judgment. It's J-Lo. It's J-Lo, and she's talking about the election, and everyone's response was, "Hey, you're Diddy's girlfriend. You didn't tell us about Diddy, so why should we listen to you with this, right?" And it's a good point. It's a good point. And guess what? It also says someone like J-Lo, you're going to be attached to Diddy for the rest of your life anyway. You're his ex-girlfriend.
Forever.
So, so you got to recognize that, and, and it is what it is. Maybe embrace it. It's hard to embrace.
Yeah, look at Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Yo, can you believe she was Diddy's ex-girlfriend? And now she's out there telling America to trust her judgment. Kev, I mean, look, I think now is the time, Kev, that let's wrap this up with some current shifts regarding what happened. All right.
Yeah.
Let's wrap that up. Let's go into that. All right. So, Kev, look, like you brought this up, very good, right? Now, Kev, as you know, This Tuesday was explosive. Okay, a lot of industries were born, and a lot of industries got demolished. What do you think? Yeah, you agree with that? Right? A lot of business models got
Good
squelched.
question. Good question. So, oil and gas, big
Mm-hmm.
beneficiary from the election. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
anything that benefits from less regulation is going to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Biotech and pharmaceuticals,
Mm-hmm.
financials, banks, one of the biggest beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Bitcoin and crypto. It's up to
You were right, Kev. You were right.
hold
The
on.
highest it's ever been.
Put
The
off.
highest it's
Hold
ever
on.
been.
Yeah, it's broken out.
Highest it's ever been. You were right. Yeah,
Look
you were
at it.
right. Highest it's ever been.
Where's it at
Yeah,
right
I know.
now?
I don't know right now, but let's see. Bitcoin,
90,000, I think.
90,000. Kev, it's the
Okay.
highest it's ever been.
Yeah, it's broken out,
High. I mean, let's
and
see.
and
5 days.
and they're going to
Let's see. When
benefit
was it?
from him putting in. It's actually the opposite of the others. They're going to benefit from added regulation because you need with the new industry
Mm-hmm.
guardrails.
Yep.
There's going to be a new SEC chairman, and
Yep.
and so all these industries benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't benefit? You want to know who doesn't benefit
Who?
from the shift? China.
Who?
China.
Okay. Okay.
Because of the
Okay. Okay. I
tariffs.
see.
The
Got it.
tariffs
Yeah.
make it harder for them to do business, and it actually benefits Tesla. Tesla's a big beneficiary of the tariffs, because they do a lot of
Yep.
business in China. So
Yep.
those are
No,
some.
I mean they just get the batteries in China. That's pretty. I mean that's all. You know what I mean? That
No. They sell in China a lot. So if
okay, got it.
here's how if a Chinese company is also selling in China, but they might send parts outside the U.S. that they're now
Right.
getting taxed on. They might have a
Mm-hmm.
higher cost, and they might bump up the price of their vehicle, and Tesla's staying the same. So if the tariffs are affecting the other companies and not Tesla, and they sell them there, it's a leg up for them.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. And listen, those are the winners, right? Those are the beneficiaries, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what is as far as that's the macro view, right? The micro
Yeah.
view. Okay, look, Kev, I think we can agree that, let me just say, this is what I've caught from online for the last couple of days. It's a lot, a lot of people involved, right? Number one, alternative media, independent media is in big demand,
There
period.
you go.
Okay, period.
Man,
Period. It's in
you hit
big
it on the
demand.
spot.
Right, big demand, right? I mean,
Yeah.
mainstream media, look, Kev,
The future.
if this exposed anything, it exposed that big media like NBC, CNN with billions of dollars on the payroll have no influence. Done.
Yeah.
All right? Because you can't even say that this was close. All right? You just can't say it. That's number one. Celebrity endorsements, worthless. Those guys are losers. I mean, they're not going to get another check again. And polling, and you remember all the polling and the people that's giving data, done. They're not trusted anymore. Who are you going to trust them?
No, I don't
You
think
made
they.
bets on it. Now,
I
think
think
about it. If
they
you made a
will.
bet on them, I'm thinking about it. If you made bets on that data, would you try? I mean,
No.
you know what I mean? Obviously, it was skewed.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to that, Kev, in all the polls, real quick, I'll just wrap it up here, right? All the polls. Remember,
Keep going.
you remember up until the last day, right? Remember let me pull it up right here, right, Kev? Check this out. Look, the biggest losers of 2024 on the election, right? Kev, do you understand that we had Harvard professors, okay, Oprah, all the polls, right? All were wrong, right, Kev? Beyond, right? Except, guess there was one person that I have on the screen right now, Kev, right? Out of everyone. All right, her name's Sabby Sav. She's an independent media person. She has about, she's decent. She has about 100,000 subscribers, right?
Sab?
Yeah, Sabby Sav. Check this out, bro. She made a prediction. No, Kev, look, 147,000, right? Kev, she made a prediction back on October 29th. Look at this. Right on the money. And trust me, bro, she's an independent. She didn't vote. She's not with the Republicans or the Democrats. She's just one of those YouTubers, right? And she based it on not what she wanted to happen, but what she thought would happen. And look at this, Kev. Right on. This is. I mean, Kev, this is so accurate.
I'm just laughing at the person and her name.
Bro, I would too, right?
Where
But
did
I mean,
you
listen.
find this? Where did you find them?
Oh, Sabby Seb, somebody else. I got the algorithm gave it to me. I was, I was like, I was under the gray zone, like Matt, one of those independent journalists, right? The gray
Hmm.
zone, and from there she was on, right? Because she's been in the space for years. All she does is just give current event analysis. Just she does commentary, right? Big market for that, Kev. Political commentary, right? Out of everyone, okay. This is October 29th. She made this prediction. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right on the money, Kev, electorally. If you took our data and you bet big, I mean, think about it, Kev. Now she got credibility for being a trusted source of information, right? Am I right or wrong, right? I mean, people, there are
No,
winners,
listen,
Kev.
I'll bring it back to what you said. Social,
Mm.
YouTube, TikTok, these are the future media. That's where everyone's going for news now. They're not
Mm.
going anymore to CNN or some of these big, even
None
Fox.
of, Kev,
They've very, they've been minimized. There's more voices now, so that's important. That's a democratization.
but Kev, it's not just YouTube, right? It's independent voices, right? It
Yeah,
is it is totally shift. Who would think that Donald Trump
and that's what
would
you want.
usher
That's what you
in?
want. That's what you want.
No, I'm just saying. But who would think like Ronald Reagan? Remember how Ronald Reagan ushered in like the movie style of quote. You know what I mean, of speaking and everything, right? Of being dramatic, and all of that. Who would think that Donald Trump would usher in an entire new economic model? I mean, Kev,
Yeah,
nobody. Kev, do you realize not one mainstream media platform, CNN, MSNBC, got it right? You
yeah,
can't have he won. So it's not even like a question. He won. It was never close. What do you think? I
yeah.
think the day he survived the assassination is the day he won. That's what I think. Because Kev, 312 with the popular vote of 75 million. I mean, come on. I mean, you're telling me that you were this off? Like this is what I'm saying. So yeah, the rise of By the way, Kev, do you know? I found this out. Do you know who came up with the name podcast?
Who?
I'm just saying it's crazy, right? Like who came up with this term, right? It started because the first, podcast was done from an iPod, and then that's what created the name 20 years ago. It's like it's a stupid name if you think about it, right? It's
Yeah,
what I mean, like
but it
podcast. You know
works.
what I mean?
It works.
It works, but that's what started it. The first people did it from their iPod. Then they
Yeah,
called
yeah.
it casting, right? Podcast. But yeah, so let me just wrap up there. Polling centers done. Celebrity endorsements. They're not getting any checks, and also another what do you call another what do you say another casualty of this election, Kev? Political consultants.
Yeah. So
They're
let me
done.
let me
I,
let me
you
let me
know,
touch on this
that's what I
the
said.
other thing you said. These are all
What?
good points. All good points.
What'd you say? Well, what do
I'm
you
gonna,
gonna?
you know, uh, in terms of this person, I'm gonna still go with political economist. She got to be right at least one more time. But
No, listen.
she's
I'm not giving her the credibility. I'm
yeah.
just
No,
saying,
no, that's impressive.
like,
That's impressive.
out of everybody,
I'm not
yeah,
that
that's
point. I'm
impressive.
not the
That's
point.
all. I'm just saying that's impressive. That's all.
So
She's
so
not going to be my go-to,
what was
right?
the
I'm just
second?
saying.
What was the second and last point you said again?
Oh, Democrat political consultants
No, before
gone,
that. Before
casualty.
that. Before that.
Oh, data polling
No,
predictions
you
because
said
people
something.
bet,
You said something in between. Celebrity. You said celebrity
poli-
endorsement.
politi-
All
pol-
right.
celebrity endorsements. Yes, paid
Let me
endorsements.
let
Paid.
me touch on that.
Yep.
Okay. Celebrity
Tell me.
endorsements
Yeah.
being paid are
Paid.
going down. All right. So here's why.
Done.
Cancel culture.
Finished.
Cancel culture is why. Because if you're a company like Ciroc and you just put a lot of money in a partnership with Diddy, and that just went kaboom. That just went kaboom. If you are a company that just endorsed, um, you know, let's say, what's another case? You had and who else is controversial lately? There's a bunch of them, but I think it works both ways. Also, if you're a celebrity and you were with FTX, right, and that went under, you lost, as well.
Yep.
So I think yes, you're right with the endorsements. It's a risk to attach yourself to a brand image right now when cancel culture is going after a lot of them. Vince McMahon, there's a documentary on him on Netflix. I didn't watch it, but this guy's been around forever, right? They got him. They got him. And so
He did some nasty stuff, Kev, an allegation. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't use
No,
him.
no, no.
I mean,
He
Kev, I
did.
mean,
He did. I'm not
the
defending him.
allegations, Kev. I know, but the allegations, Kev, like, goddamn. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, really? But anyway, he's a filthy
but
bastard.
here's what is happening now, right?
Yeah.
So when let's take, I'm not defending anyone. You're right. The victims are important, but it's happening so frequently. You see a new one every day, right? Now, take
hmm
the Tate brothers, for instance, right? I don't know enough
hmm
about the story, or just take Tate, right? So basically, when they do an investigation, whether it's like a private eye or someone real, they don't interview the personal trainer that was with them every day. They don't interview or the maid that's with them every day. They interview like an ex-girlfriend from a few years ago, try to blackmail that person or financially incentivize them to flip them. So
They make it up, Kev.
you're right. If they can't find anything, they make it up. But in America,
Yeah.
crime occurs first, and then there's investigation, right? Guilty until proven innocent. That's how it should be. We've seen this with Trump. Now, what the cancel culture does is they have they have um they have a person, so a target that they first go after, and then afterwards they investigate to try to find something or make it up. Chill with your paper. That's mad loud. But anyway, so they are doing it backwards, right? This is they're going after a person and then investigating to try to find a crime or they make it up. So, I think that might have happened with those guys. They're a different country though. But
No, they were Kev. They were Kev. You know what happened? What I gather what happened with Tate? He was talking so much because he had real knowledge, right? He had real secrets.
He wasn't going with
No, he was just
the
saying.
status quo. He's going
He was
against the
saying no. He
grain.
was saying yeah. He mentioned that one company offered him $50 million and he was going to name it. And I think they try to teach him they try to fucking throw leverage and teach him a lesson. That's what happened there. Is
Yeah,
that they knew he had info. They tried to approach him, and he was like, no, he stood on his principles. And bro, he paid a price for it. That's what happens, right? But as far as this is concerned, Kev, I mean, I
Well,
think it's
if he
simple. I
fell
mean,
in line, if he went along with whatever narrative that person
oh, he would have
wanted,
been good.
it would have been fine.
He would have been good.
He went against the
He would have been
grain.
fine.
Yeah.
You want to win and he's canceled everywhere. But Kev, I don't think cancel culture had anything. I think what Babylon B said it the best. Diddy's ex-girlfriend, they thought it was a good idea to put Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who's, by the way, Kev, do you know Diddy is still behind bars, right? He's not released yet. Diddy's ex-girlfriend, right? To urge Americans who to vote for. And you
Yeah.
thought that was a smart thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, like that's like a slap in the face, Kev. I mean, but I can tell you right now, no celebrity, and they got paid, Kev. Did you see the filings? They got paid millions of dollars to say a few words. That industry is over.
So
I don't think any. I don't think you're gonna get any
let's
more money.
I seen an interview just with Suge Knight talking about Diddy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he said that Diddy was an informant and that Obama pardoned him. That pardoned them early on, and at his parties, presidents, executives, preachers. One of the preachers, T.D. Jakes, supposedly is the biggest in
Yep.
the prison system, and he had to sort of resign, and they all follow him, and these people were at his parties, and he went after Ciroc. We talked about this, called him racist, and they took it as, hey, you're trying to destroy me, and if you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones, and they got him right.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's still
Check this
behind
out,
bars. I
though.
mean, I can't believe it.
Another thing Suge said is Diddy always had these cameras when he went to a club, right? Why does he have a cameraman there at all times? Is he that much of a narcissist? I'll tell you
Is
why.
that paranoid? Is he paranoid, right?
I'll tell you why. It's a power thing. That's he wants, have the camera pointed at people to sort of as a power thing. I think, maybe they don't act out, maybe they don't whatever. Maybe you could compromise them, right? Blackmail them, hold something over their head. It's a power thing. I think with him and um, I think sometimes when that's on them, people tend to not think how they should, right? That something's wrong or something's off. So that might possibly be it. But yeah, this is someone that has a lot of funds and resources, and he had everyone sort of involved in that, So, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, like I said, I mean, he's still behind bars, which is crazy. I thought he'd be out already. He's still behind. I mean, that's like, what I mean? Like, Kev, like, that's a bad way to fight a case from the inside. I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's, what I mean? You gotta, like fighting a trafficking case like that from the inside. Like, your lawyer only
Yeah,
gets a couple hours a day, right? You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's something else.
Listen,
But
did
Kevin,
you see? Did you see what he did? Jamie Foxx supposedly. Someone was saying that Jamie Foxx called the cops on him. You
yeah,
know,
that's but he never came out and confirmed that. But maybe, I mean,
he said that
you know,
he poisoned them, and he was out of commission for
yep,
it, and,
yeah,
he called the cops. But probably was he went after Diageo, and they probably
yeah. I mean, like I said, Kev, like I said, did all these celebrities are old news. I mean, at this point, I don't think
yeah,
anybody in America wants to hear from them. What do you think? I think they're just tired of it, right? They're
yeah.
tired of seeing them. They're just done. They don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I like, if you want to see them in movies, okay, but they're tired. They're not going to like attend events. And Kev, one last thing, I didn't know, right, that political consultants on a presidential campaign, you know how much they get paid, bro? I thought, what I mean? I knew it was a lot, but I didn't know. Guess how much it is? 15% of all donations. Wow. I didn't know that. I thought it was like maybe a salary of like 100 grand a
Yeah,
month.
but
I
hold on.
didn't know that
It depends how many.
15%.
Yeah, but 15% split up between all the people. So depends how many people
True,
they have.
true, true, true. I agree, but do you know what the Democratic thing did in 3 months? They did $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So in 3 months, the payday was 150. I
How
didn't
many
know it was on a
people?
percentage.
How many people though?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it was like,
Hundreds,
maybe
thousands.
50. Yeah, right. No, maybe not thousands, but hundreds. I agree, hundreds and stuff. Right.
Yeah.
What I mean is the main people, right, Kev? The main consultants. You know what I mean? Like, probably like 15, right? A team of 15 top people, right? They get 15% of all donations, which is wild. I mean, that is wild. I mean, like, if you raise that much money, you just get automatically off the top. The consultant. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a set salary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you come on my team, here's 100 grand for my campaign. I didn't know it was based on donations. You know what that does, Kev? That gives an incentive to gaslight to raise donations. That's all it does. I mean, you know what I mean? Now you're going to have the consultants doing whatever, saying whatever, just
Yeah,
to raise more and more and more donations.
yeah.
Like you
But
said, Kev, you know
it's
what they're
bigger
going to
than
do?
money. It's bigger than money though. It's about
No, but you
power.
know what, Kev? You know what they do now? Like you said, fear, right? The consultants now, right, that are in charge of campaign, they have an incentive to put fear out there to raise the donations. because they get paid. I didn't know it was 15%, Kev. That's a lot. But you're right, though. I mean, a couple of people, but god damn, man, 15% of all donations. Wow.
Yeah.
So
All right,
they made a
wrap it up.
killing.
We're at a minute. We're at 1:10. So
Yeah.
you got anything
Well,
else?
I mean that. No, that's it. I mean, like you said, this shift has happened. Do you think it'll go back? I got a quick question to you. Do you think like it can reverse this shift in information? No, right? Once it's on this path, it is, right? It's like the .com era, right? Remember, like online, right? Like it doesn't go back. You don't go back to newspapers, right?
No,
Like
no.
what I mean? People are not no, right? It's right. It's over.
It's
Yeah.
better. That's why. Listen, technology is about improving something. Convenience,
Right.
making it better. It's easier for people to access information. They can pick and choose. There's more out there. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's better at the end, it's going to be embraced, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, Kev. Now, last thing you see on the screen, right? Look at this major news thing, right? Look at this. Look, she was at MSNBC. She used to work there, right? This woman right here, Crystal Ball. Look at her prediction, 2024. Look how off she was. This is what I'm saying, Kev. It's stuff like that where people's reputation got demolished,
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see, Kev. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm glad to see that, there's a
But
big
hold
shift,
on.
man. And like,
Hold on. Back. There's pros and there's cons to it, okay? Because you're going to have the same thing happening with YouTube. We see it with TikTok. Certain things, the algorithm becomes very powerful then, right?
Mhm.
And, Twitter had a back door previously before Musk bought it. They had a back door where
Yeah.
every 2 weeks, deleted tweets went out that back door.
I know.
So
The Twitter files. I know.
So look, the same thing could, happen with where you want it to be decentralized, right?
Yeah.
Where the it's spread out evenly and it goes to your likes, not what's getting the clicks. So we'll see over time how it
Okay.
evolves.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So now it's all about
the
okay, I
algorithm.
see what you're saying. Yeah. Now it's all about eyeballs, and then that means they're gonna abuse it. These grifters, right? They're
They
gonna
know
abuse it by
clickbait is. They're called industry.
clickbait. Oh,
They're called industry plants.
uh,
Kai Cadet, whatever his name is,
yeah.
not.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up his channel. He's
Got it.
he's exactly that. He knows what to tap into to get
10
people
million
to.
subscribers. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
10 million. Wow. Oh my God, Kev. Yeah, Kev. So he's an industry plan. So Kev, like you said, so what the independent media is gonna face with is now clickbait. Wow, it's gonna go. That's
So
gonna be the issue.
it's a different generation that's locked in on it, and it will definitely it will just be different with the newspapers. With these big corporations, they run them like a corporation, right? You have a certain thing, you can only say certain things. I think the best thing is variety.
Mm-hmm.
Is a lot of different things. So more platforms could even it out. If YouTube becomes so popular, right? Other platforms that come in, and that's what makes it fair, I think. Because YouTube is
Yep.
just. Why is YouTube so popular? It's just a channel upload videos, right? I mean,
Yeah, but it was the first one. I mean, it started in like 2010.
that's
That's that. I mean, you got like 15 years, right? Nobody really had it like then, right? Now you got Rumble, but it's still nowhere close, Kev, as you know. But look,
and
man, I
who owns them? I believe it's Google. You should check. I believe Google
who owns
bought them.
what?
YouTube.
YouTube?
I believe it's
Yeah, of
Google.
course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gmail. Yeah. We access our platform through Gmail. Yeah,
So
it's owned by
listen.
Google. Yeah.
So listen.
Mm.
You're on every Android phone. Then you pre-installed on it. There's power in
Yep.
that. That's what
Yep.
That's what gives them staying power. That's why they're so
Yeah.
successful. If you were on every
But
iPhone
still,
pre-installed, you're going to be a pretty big platform.
but what about Spotify, Kev? Joe Rogan's on Spotify.
Spotify's
You know?
big. Spotify's
Yeah, that's
big.
what I'm saying. He's on Spotify. It's not just YouTube. You can access him on Spotify.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying, Kev, I mean, this is an independent media is official now.
Spotify's
You know that, right?
Spotify's a different country.
Different country, right? Different country.
So they're more open to, freedom of speech and stuff like that. So it's
Right.
good. It's good to have a Spotify. You need a Spotify. Someone
Okay.
said early on they wanted to buy Spotify, right?
Okay.
And the owner said no. You're
Mm.
not gonna. I gave him a big offer, and he said no. You're not gonna buy me because your users are gonna come to my platform anyway because what I'm building
Right.
is so good. And he was right.
Okay.
I believe it was like an early platform, maybe like a MySpace or something like that wanted to buy them. Not MySpace, but something like that. And he's like, no, we're building something that you're gonna come to us anyway, and we don't really need your users. So
Yeah.
good
I mean,
stuff. All
Kev.
right,
I
good
mean,
talk.
Kev.
Wrap
Listen.
it up.
Yeah, real quick. What do you? I mean, the independent media. I mean, it's going to blow, Kev, because it's worldwide. You talk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's different than
yeah,
the big media, right? Where you need a cable package to watch CNN, right? Right? You need like one of these on Verizon or Cablevision. Independent media. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Kev, this is the right time to expand because
yep,
it's going to right. It's going to
yeah,
put a flag now.
sure.
I'm telling you, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, listen, I said it. Everyone on LinkedIn will have their own
LinkedIn,
YouTube channel, right?
Kev, that's a predict. Right, I agree. Yep.
So we'll see. All right, man. Good talk.
All right, Kev. I'm going to stop right now.